We currently have a crazy deal going on over at poodlecfb.com. If you use code BACKTOSCHOOL, all lowercase with the number 2 in the middle, you get 50% off the annual plan. And if you use code BACKTOSCHOOL2025, again, all lowercase with the number 2, you get 40% off the monthly plan. That is the best deal we've ever ran over there. Make sure to take advantage. This is a locked-in grandfather deal, so if you lock yourself into this deal, you have it for the lifetime of your membership. So come check it out, sign up, don't miss out on the best deal we've ever ran. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and today's video, we're going to be taking a deeper dive on the recent player progression nerf that EA secretly did. Guys, before we get into the video, we just dropped something super cool over on poodlecfb.com. Obviously, if you remember, you know that we recently dropped a position change series, which allows you to go in and see the exact way to position change players, the key ways to exploit it and make them perfect god tier players. Well, we just dropped an archetype changing guide in the CFB guide that allows you to understand how to change archetypes. So let's say you want your quarterback who's a pocket passer to be a scrambler, and a running back to change to east-west, or a wide receiver to be a deep threat. There's a guide now to show you how to spec your builds to change a player's archetype to something else, especially when trying to position change them. This is a super cool guide. It just dropped yesterday on poodlecfb.com. If you haven't already, guys, we're running a code half off. Best deal we've ever ran. It gets you half off any plan. All lowercase, no spaces. Half off, one word altogether. Gets you 50% off any plan over on the site. Go check it out, guys. You have access to that, our Discord of over 1,000 members. Come join the best and fastest growing community out there with one of the best deals that we've ever ran. Come check it out, guys. If you're not already in there, you're probably losing to other guys in your dynasty. You are. Come check it out. Thank you, guys. Let's get into it. So, guys, a few days ago, we covered the recent secret nerf on player progression. A bunch of guys in my Discord, a bunch of guys on Twitter, the community comments, everyone came to the same consensus. Like, wait a minute. I feel like our offseason we just had less skill points available than I'm used to, especially with whatever coaching package you have. But you guys know how it is. Like, you know, every season, like, okay, my quarterback gets like 59 points. My running back's at about 65 and 42 for the backup. You start to kind of understand like the pattern. You have that pattern recognition for what kind of skill points you're going to get. And this past offseason or so after the update felt a bit lighter. Now, this came from a lot of community comments, me testing it. It became pretty clear. So the recent question was, we're going to go through a few things in this video about where do you go from here and some actual like fan type gamer theories that came up this week, which I think are super interesting. So the first theory is, before we get into some of the other stuff, is let's take a look at this. So I simmed right before training results. Let's look at our roster and see the XP we have. As you guys know, players on your team have XP from the season now. And what I mean by that is, if you guys don't recall, there was a problem for the first 2 months or so of the game where if you had manual progression on during the season with any amount of penalty, you basically didn't get any skill points in season. So for a while, people thought it was broken. It was. If you had auto on, you did get the XP. So for a while, we were doing the exploit. We had to turn auto on, manual off. So people were asking, do you still need to do that? Let's start there. That means turning it on to auto when you play your game and back to manual after for advance, which essentially gets you the amount of XP from auto, but doesn't make you spend it when you advance the game. So people were asking, do you still need to do that? So this all comes down to your penalty. Because remember, at first it was a method to avoid the penalty. Then we realized it was broken. Now it was a method to avoid getting the 90% plus. But if you have any penalty, remember, it still helps you avoid the penalty. So if your penalty is at 25% and you do auto during the game, manual after, and what that means is you go down here and you go to auto progress players, you turn it to on for the game and then back off after, you still get your full 100% XP because you don't get hit with 25% penalty. So you can still do that. Now, if your league has it on 0, no penalty, you don't have to waste your time. If your league has it on 100%, just always keep it on auto for the most part, because you're going to get nothing when you have manual on. So you can flip-flop there if you want for the in-season. Just be very careful with it, really, because I've seen a lot of people say this. Some guys were doing the flip in-season, and then they forgot in the off-season, and then they got nothing for their training results. So that's what you got to be careful. When it's on 100%, yes, you can do it auto for the game, turn it off after, and still try to spend it manually. However, you got to be very careful with any kind of big sims or missing a week, because you will get no XP. So I just tend to be more careful when it's on 100%. The next thing is looking at the in-season XP. People were saying, wait a minute, what if, and this shout out to some guy in the comment section who brought this to my attention about like a day or two ago, what if EA nerfed the XP in the offseason because the in-season was fixed? Now, interesting theory about that, because and now I wonder on the flip side, what if off-season XP was buffed so much because the in-season player penalty wasn't working and it was broken like off-rip, so they just buffed the off-season? I don't know, but what I do know is this. Interesting theories is that with talent developer, with the build that we had with coach tier 1 talent developer, where you got the draft bonus plus all the other stuff like star maker, you were able to get 100 to 250 like skill points in the offseason from having players drafted. Like crazy amount by training results. But then, and that was crazy, you were getting to like an 80 overall freshman to a 99 in one offseason with that, which was crazy, right? But now I wonder, and I want to think about this mathematically, if now we have wide receivers, like let's say this guy right here would have gotten 100 plus points if players ahead of him were drafted. And that was happening. Now if they fix the in-season, and you're getting 20 to 30, 15, 10 points in the in-season, I wonder if they had to nerf the off-season, because now it was ridiculous. Now they fixed the in-season, and it was already ridiculous. So there was like this 2 to 3 week period, post-fixing it, pre-nerf, where you were able to get this insane amount of XP, getting like 99 overalls after from in-season and off-season, doing the auto manual flip especially. So the fan theory out there in the comments was like, I wonder if they had to nerf the off-season a little bit to pull back, because now you're getting in-season XP. So let's advance to training results, and I want to go through one more thing with you guys here. So look at the coach build that we currently have, because people are now asking me, hey, with everything that's been done, and the fact that now they nerfed it, is my build cooked? Is talent developer cooked, or is it all elite recruiter now? And I have some thoughts on this. I want to go through it for all you guys who already made coach builds, but right now this is the build we're rocking with. So we have some talent developer. Mind you, this is without having fully tiered up coordinators to match you and triple stacking it. This is just the head coach having it. So let's advance to our training results period, and let's go through this. So a lot of people are asking, is it cooked? Is elite recruiter king now? So before, I want to say elite recruiter, there we go, training results. I want to say this was talent developer before, this was elite recruiter. For most people, this was the gap. For the people who were like in that top 5% of players, top 10% of players, I'd say this was the gap, more or less. Just talking recruiter versus talent developer, of course, there was a build where you stacked elite recruiter and talent developer, and that was the best build in the game if you were really good at recruiting and you can unlock it and you were a top tier player. Now I want to say the gap between just pure packages got this close. That's what I would say now. So some guy in my league said it, I forget what the term was, but it was like, before talent developer was OP, now it's just P. Like, it was overpowered, now it's just powered. Like, it's still the best thing in the game in my opinion. Now let's go through why. Let's look at a few positions here, like wide receiver. So wide receiver, I believe we had Ryan Williams, who was just drafted, so that's why we're going to utilize that one. But even quarterback, using this, he was a sophomore and a freshman before this, and we have star maker and we have all that. He has 70 points in the offseason. So let's just take a look at this, right? With being able to progress players to this ability, what that looks like when doing this. I think, why can't I click on them? All right, there we go. So let's take a look at this and this is with a penalty. Let's take a look at this right here. If we go into ratings and we go to upgrade him, this is a guy who just got 70 points from talent developer. It's not 170, mind you, but it's still a lot. So we did that. And then from here, we have a 92 overall. We can either upgrade IQ, because that helps the quarterback's overall a lot, or we can go right to physicals. We have 36 left. Now, if we wanted to, we can do dot, but let's just say for the sake of ratings purposes here, let's go with IQ. Start maxing him out, because this stuff you do when you have auto. This is what it would do if you were in an auto league anyways. So with 70 points, we were able to get this guy up to a 95. Can we get one more out of this? We got him up to a 95 overall. So he went from a 80 something to a 95 overall, strictly off of a 70 point offseason from talent developer. So here's the thing. The 200 points before were just like a luxury. Like, it was like you had enough for your house, you had enough for your car, you had enough for vacations, and then you had like screw you money on top of it. That's basically what it was before. Now you're just living large. Before, you just had like, I gotta burn it type of money on your players. That's what the skill point difference was before. So is it still king? People are like, oh my god, I just got talent developer, of course the build switch, it's too late to get elite recruiter. No, the advice still stands. However, I do think the gap closes a bit more. So before, you say talent developer for 90% of players is the way to go. I do think it probably shifts more to 80%, and now the top 20% values from elite recruiter. Because before, in my eyes, you had to get it early, and you had to be absolutely elite at recruiting and bringing in top tier talent consistently. Now that the skill points did get brought down a bit, you can still build on overall players, but you're not building those gods, like the super gods, where you had like all maxed out abilities. You even were upgrading like your health. You were just getting crazy in there with 270 points. You'd be like, all right, give me health, give me awareness, give me quickness, give me everything. So now Obviously, things like quickness are still very expensive. Had I did all quickness, it would have been like 14, 15, 15. That would have been 30 and then 44. That would have taken half of our points for speed. So before, because you were getting 270, you could just be like, all right, max out accuracy, and I'll make him 92 speed, and I'll make him 93 speed. And you know what? Screw it. I want that ability I don't even care about. I'll take that too. I'll take Option King. So before, you were able to just like make these god tier players. Now you're able to get them up to like meta status, like elite, but you're not able to get them to god in one off season. So it does take an extra season or two. It does require you to have the right setup and the right coaches. Obviously, with the triple stack, it's even more elite. But I do think that's the change here, is where Elite Recruiter used to be for the top 10%. I think that build is more viable now with the top 20. And Talent Developer moves to more like a 75, 80%-ish, where it still applies to most people. But you do need an extra season or so to actually get through it now versus it being like one season, one and done. Which I think is better. The game, people were complaining that like, oh, you know, in CFB 25, it took me 10 years to get to 9 overall. This game, I'm taking Marshall to a 99 in year 4. That is true. It's a little ridiculous, and I think this helps a little bit. You definitely want the triple stack now, which is going to... The triple stack probably, I think, with Talent Developer, brings you back to that god tier status. Like, oh my god, I got 150, 270 points. I think triple stack does that for you. However, I think single stack, just the coach having it, your head coach, will get you this level, where it's like you're getting meta players very quickly. You don't have to do much thinking. However, I think if you get the triple stack, you're back at the old status. Triple stack isn't the easiest. Not getting the coordinators, because the coordinators take you a season or two to get. But then once you get them, you have to build them and then spend a few seasons hoping they upgrade the stuff to triple stack with you. And that's going to be the big difference here, guys. But that basically covers it. These are my thoughts. I think there was a slight shift in coach build. I still think what you did worked for you, because obviously this is the thing. If you were doing the Elite Recruiter build before, you were top 10%. Now it's just top 20. So all that actually did was open the window for more people to actually be able to get Elite Recruiter in terms of like their skill set. But people who already had it were already 10%. They're unimpacted. So now going forward, more people can consider it. I think if you're on like the cusp of like, I think I could have won Elite Recruiter. Talent Developer, yes. If you're a bottom 10% player, that we're to call it the 80 to 90, like you're in that bottom, like, wow, I'm bad at this game. I don't play well. I don't build well. I needed this. You might have an extra season or so to get there, but I don't think you're kicked out of the grouping. I just think it's a weird space for you where it's like, okay, this hurts you a little bit more. That little 10% of people who were like really at the bottom barrel are going to be hurt a slight bit, but it's not bad. It's going to take an extra season or two. You're not going to rebuild the program in 1 year. It maybe takes an extra season, especially if you have the right packages and the right players, and you're utilizing hopefully Mind Reader to get some of these elite and star devs. That obviously goes a long way with this. Keelan Russell obviously is star dev. You can't see it behind my head. Sorry about that, but he is star dev, which helps a lot. If he was like a normal dev player, he would not gotten nearly as many skill points as he did. So in my opinion, dev traits got even more important, because before we were over on poodlecfb.com, we ran this test. We were getting normal devs drafted in the first round with this build. I think now that's another thing that was hindered by this. You're not getting normal devs. You're not going to be getting normal devs drafted. Let's see if I can find one that is a normal dev. Even like your impact dev, we're in the 40s more consistently. If I can find a normal dev, we're in the 28s. So like you're not getting a normal dev up to 99 overall or in the 90s as consistently as you could before with the right skill caps. I think now this definitely hurts the skill and impact players a bit more too, or the normal and impact players. I think it definitely hurts them a bit more. They may take a full 4 seasons to get them somewhere useful, while the elite and star dev are still going to get to where they need to be pretty quickly, maybe with an extra half season to a full. But guys, better for the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell, guys. Don't forget code half off, where we do all these studies, where we find out all these exploits, glitches, metas, best practice, secret nerfs. poodlecfb.com. Not only will you know about it first before everyone else and take advantage of it in your leagues, you'll also know about it way more in depth than I can ever put out on YouTube, because there's written guides and you can ask questions all day. You can add us all day, us in the admin team. It's the best place to be, guys. Code half off, all lowercase, no spaces. Half off, all together, one word. Get you 50% off any plan on the site. It's the best deal we ever ran. Definitely go check it out, guys. And don't miss our new position change series or archetype exploit change series as well. And don't forget, guys, Chalkboard. If you use code PoodleCFB or click the link in the bio or in the description, you get your first deposit matched up to $100. So not only could you take your, before it was $20 free, but now it's going to be $100 match, which is honestly pretty crazy, because if you put in $20, you get $20. So it's basically a free second chance at a pick. Or if you put in a full 100, you get an extra full 100. It's free money. Go check it out, guys. Make sure to use my code or my link to get it. If you sign up otherwise, you will not get it. So go check it out, guys. And if you tweet at me your picks for the week on any NFL or CFB games, I will follow you back on Twitter. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.